It started on a Friday night. My wife, Emily, had invited a few of her old college friends over for dinner. They were the kind of people who wore their arrogance like a designer suit, smiling sweetly while judging you with their eyes. I didn't want to host them, not really. But Emily insisted. "They're important to me," she said. "Just be yourself, babe." I tried. I really did. I cooked. Set the table. Made sure the wine was chilled. Even wore that itchy shirt Emily liked so much. They arrived fashionably late, loud, dressed like they were attending a gala rather than dinner in a suburban house. But I smiled, greeted them, and served the food. It was halfway through dinner when the jokes started. One of her friends, Jason, some finance guy who always smelled like expensive cologne, glanced at my hands and chuckled, "So you actually built that patio yourself?" "Yeah," I said, a bit proud. "Took a few weekends, but it turned out great." He smirked. "Wow. A man of many, basic skills." The table erupted in laughter. Emily included. I looked at her. She didn't stop them. She didn't defend me. Instead, she leaned in, smiled, and said, "Oh, don't be so sensitive. It's just jokes. If you can't handle the heat, maybe you should step away from the table." That's when something snapped. Not in anger. In clarity. I looked at the woman I once thought had my back, and realized I didn't recognize her anymore. So I smiled, nodded, and stepped away from the table. But not just from dinner. From the life she thought I was too afraid to walk away from. Because if she thought I was weak, she was about to learn what I was really capable of. I didn't slam the door. I didn't cause a scene. I simply placed my napkin down, gave Emily a long look, one she didn't quite understand in the moment, and walked out of our own house. Behind me, the laughter slowly faded. No one followed. Not even her. I got in my car and drove. Nowhere specific at first. I just needed to breathe. Think. Let the sting settle. But as the cold air hit my face at a red light, something unexpected happened. I smiled. Because I realized I'd been playing small in my own life for too long. I had poured so much into that relationship, built her dream kitchen with my own hands, paid off her student loans without a word, supported her career while putting mine on hold. And now? I was just the punchline at her dinner party. So I decided right then, I wasn't just walking away. I was reclaiming what was mine. The next morning, I called a lawyer. See, while Emily had the charm, I had the discipline. The assets. The paperwork. That house. In my name before the marriage. The business she helped consult for. Only existed because I funded it. And I had the receipts. And that patio Jason mocked. It had a buried fiber optic cable I laid myself, because I was expanding into remote consulting, without telling anyone. I wasn't broke. I was strategic. And now it was time to play the long game. It took Emily 2 days to call me. 2 whole days. When she finally did, her voice was casual. Too casual. "Hey, so, are you coming back, or are you still sulking?" I didn't answer right away. Instead, I said, "I'll have someone come by next week to collect a few things. Don't worry, I won't interrupt your next comedy show." She scoffed. "Oh, come on. Don't be dramatic." But I wasn't being dramatic. I was being precise. In the week that followed, I moved in with a friend across town. Quiet, clean space. No distractions. Just planning. I'd already met with my lawyer. Explained everything, how I'd paid for the house, maintained it, protected the deed. How the consulting business she took credit for was legally under my LLC. My lawyer smiled and said, "You're in a better position than you think." I also reached out to our accountant. Let's just say, Emily hadn't paid much attention to the finances. I had access to everything. She never asked. Never cared. She liked the lifestyle. The perks. The image. But now, I was about to pull the curtain back. I scheduled the financial freeze first. Locked the accounts that were mine. Transferred what I legally could. I wasn't stealing anything. I was taking back what I built. And then I did something unexpected. I invited Emily to lunch. She showed up wearing designer sunglasses and a smirk, probably thinking this was some kind of apology tour. "Oh, you missed me already," she teased, sitting down. I didn't smile. Instead, I slid an envelope across the table. She opened it, eyes narrowing with every page. Deed records. Bank statements. Business contracts. "WH. What is this?" she stammered. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "This is me leaving. For real. And taking everything I brought into your world with me." Her smirk vanished. And for the first time in years, she looked scared. Emily stared at the papers like they were written in another language. Her fingers trembled slightly as she flipped through them. "But, this house, the car, the business, were all mine before you," I said calmly, sipping my coffee. "You just enjoyed the ride." She looked up, her voice sharper now. "You're bluffing. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't leave me." "I already did," I said. "You just didn't notice." For a moment, she just sat there, stunned, blinking. And then she did what I expected her to do. She got angry. "You're pathetic. You're punishing me because you can't take a joke. Because my friends were having fun." I leaned forward. "No. I'm leaving because you were laughing. Because instead of standing by me, you let them tear me down in my own home. And when I looked to you for support, you told me to leave. So I did." She sat back, jaw clenched, eyes glassy now. "This is ridiculous. You're throwing away a marriage over one dinner." "No, Emily. You threw it away. That dinner just revealed what was already broken." I stood up, placed a credit card on the table, one of the few still tied to our joint account. "Lunch is on me. Don't say I never gave you anything." And with that, I walked away. Again. But this time, she knew it was real. Because now, I wasn't just walking away with my pride. I was walking away with the house, the business, and soon, the final piece of my quiet revenge. The next step was subtle. Emily still lived in the house. For now. But legally, it was mine. And the paperwork I'd filed made that very clear. I didn't evict her. That would have been too loud, too messy. No. I was more patient than that. Instead, I froze the joint accounts. Cancelled the secondary cards she used. The spa memberships. The streaming services. The luxury grocery delivery. Gone. She didn't call at first, too proud. But a week later, I got a text. "Emily, why isn't the housekeeper coming anymore?" I didn't reply. Then another. "Emily, did you cancel the utilities? The internet's off." Still no reply. See, Emily had grown comfortable in a life she didn't build. A life I made possible. And now, piece by piece, I was showing her just how dependent she had become. And while she scrambled, I thrived. I moved into a sleek downtown apartment. Launched a rebrand of my consulting firm. Hired new clients. Grew fast. Quietly. The same Jason who once laughed at my basic skills. His company reached out. They wanted a systems overhaul. I made them pay double. And you better believe, I made sure Jason knew exactly who was leading the project. Petty? Maybe. But after what he said at that table, I'd say it was poetic. 2 months passed. Emily tried to keep her composure publicly. Posting filtered photos, writing captions like, "Just taking some time for myself. Growth season nail polish." But behind the scenes, she was unraveling. The mortgage company had contacted her, confused why her name wasn't on anything. Her branding business was shut down, since the operating funds were gone. Turns out, she never really ran it. I did. One afternoon, I got an unexpected call from her mother. "Why are you doing this to her?" she asked, her tone sharp. I replied, calmly, "I'm not doing anything to her. I'm just, no longer doing everything for her." Silence. Then she muttered, "She's not handling this well." I bet she wasn't. Especially after I filed a motion to formally reclaim the house. Not to evict her, not immediately, but to begin transitioning full ownership back to me. She was welcome to stay, for now. But rent was due. That same week, she finally showed up in person. Knocked on the glass doors of my new office, makeup smudged, looking like she hadn't slept. I met her outside. "You win," she said quietly. "Is that what you wanted? To humiliate me? To destroy me?" I shook my head. "No. I just wanted you to respect me." That night, all I asked for was basic dignity. And instead, you laughed with them. Her eyes welled up. "I didn't know it would go this far," she whispered. "It didn't have to," I replied. "You told me to leave if I couldn't handle it. So I did." Then I walked back inside and shut the door behind me. Because this time, I wasn't looking back. After that day at my office, Emily stopped trying to play the victim. The Instagram posts dried up. The calls from her friends stopped. Even Jason, Mr. Finance, apparently ghosted her. I wasn't surprised, he was never there for her, only the lifestyle. Weeks later, she finally moved out of the house. Quietly. No big drama. No message. Just, gone. And when she left, I walked through the front door for the first time in months. It felt different now. Peaceful. No tension. No pretending. No walking on eggshells in my own home. I renovated it. Took down her fancy decor. Repainted the walls. Brought in furniture I liked. It no longer looked like her Instagram page. It looked like me. One afternoon, I walked out onto the patio, yes, the one Jason mocked, and sat with a beer in hand, watching the sun dip low. That patio had taken me 5 weekends to build. But the new life I was building? It was just getting started. Then, I got an email. From a woman I'd met years ago at a workshop. A brilliant entrepreneur. Thoughtful. Genuine. We'd lost touch when I got married. But now. She wrote, "Saw your rebrand. Impressive work. Would love to catch up, dinner on me." I smiled. Because for the first time in a long, long while, I had no one mocking me. No one holding me back. No one laughing in my face while I served them dinner. Only freedom. And a second chance that we met at a quiet rooftop restaurant. No pressure, no expectations, just two people catching up over wine and city lights. Her name was Tessa. Smart. Grounded. She asked about my work, not just what I did, but what I loved about it. When I told her about the consulting business, her eyes lit up. "You really built this from the ground up?" I nodded. "Every brick." She smiled. "Then you deserve everything coming your way." It wasn't a romantic night, not yet. But it was, real. Something I hadn't felt in years. No games. No ego. No hidden jabs masked as jokes. And for the first time, I realized. The real payback wasn't the house. It wasn't freezing accounts. It wasn't watching Emily's world fall apart. It was this: peace. Control. Clarity. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone anymore. I was just done letting people hurt me. I went home that night and stood in my newly repainted living room. No sound. No chaos. Just stillness. Then I did something simple. I lit the fire pit outside on the patio Jason mocked, and sat down with a book. Because I didn't need revenge. I didn't need Emily to understand. She laughed at me once, thinking I'd never walk away. But I did. And in doing so, I built a better life. One where I was no longer the joke. I was the architect of my own peace. That I thought that was the end. But people like Emily, they don't disappear quietly. About a month after our last encounter, I got another unexpected call, this time from a blocked number. I let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. Eventually, I answered. "Hey," her voice cracked through the speaker. I didn't know who else to call. I stayed silent. She continued, "I'm staying at a friend's. I can't afford my own place right now. Everything's upside down." I waited. Then came the part one expected. "I made a mistake. I know I did. I should have defended you that night. I should have appreciated you." A pause. "I was stupid." She was crying now. And for a brief second, I felt a sting of the old guilt. But only for a second. "I'm not the same man you mocked at that table, Emily," I said calmly. "You laughed at me like I was nothing. And now you want back into the life I rebuilt without you." "It's not about money," she said quickly. "It's about you. I miss you." I smiled, even though she couldn't see it. "No, Emily. You miss what I gave you. The comfort. The image. The safety. But me? You never really saw me." She sniffled. "So that's it?" "That was it," I said. "You told me to leave, and I did. And now I've built a life where I'm no longer the punchline." Then I hung up. And this time, I knew I wouldn't hear from her again. Because she finally realized, she hadn't lost a man. She'd lost the foundation her world was standing on. It's been a year now. 12 months since I walked out of that dinner party. 12 months since the laughter died. 12 months since I decided I was done being her second thought. A lot has changed. The business? It's doubled. I now have a small team, and we just signed a contract with a national brand. The house? Renovated top to bottom. It doesn't even resemble the old one anymore. New floors, new walls, new energy. The patio? Still there. Still perfect. I've hosted real friends out there now, the kind who respect me. Not once have I felt mocked. As for Tessa, we kept meeting. First for work talk. Then coffee. Then wine. Now. She's the one who shows up for me. The one who listens. The one who sees me. A few nights ago, we sat under the string lights on the patio, just like I used to dream of. She leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "You built a beautiful life." I looked around, at the quiet, at the success, at the peace. And I realized, she was right. Because the truth is, Emily didn't destroy me that night. She set me free. She gave me the push I didn't know I needed, to leave, to level up, to finally choose myself. Her friends laughed at me. She told me to leave. So I did. And I walked straight into a life they'll never be part of. I didn't block Emily. I didn't need to. Let her watch. Every now and then, I see her name pop up in my Instagram story views. Silent. Constant. She watches the business wins. The travels. The dinners. The smiles. She even liked a photo once, the one where Tessa and I were walking through a vineyard at sunset. I didn't respond. I didn't remove the like. Because she needed to see it. Not out of cruelty. But clarity. She needed to see what a man looks like when he's no longer being diminished. When he's surrounded by people who build, not break. Who uplift, not undermine. One day I got a message request. Emily, I see you're doing well. You look happy. I miss what we had. I didn't reply. Because we didn't have this. This joy. This purpose. This peace. We had silence, bitterness, and the kind of laughter that left scars. She had her chance to stand by me. She chose to laugh instead. Now. She watches from a distance. From the outside. Where she'll stay. Because the man she once told to leave. He did. And he never looked back. It's funny, really. Back then, I thought revenge meant proving them wrong. Taking back what was mine. Making them feel the sting they once gave me. And for a while, I did all that. I reclaimed the house. The business. My name. But in the end, that wasn't the real victory. The real victory? Peace. Growth. And never needing to explain myself again. I don't wish Emily harm. Not anymore. She was a chapter. A loud one. A painful one. But not the whole book. She taught me exactly what I'd tolerate, and more importantly, what I wouldn't ever again. Now, when I laugh at a dinner table, it's with people who get me. Now, when someone says they're proud of me, it's not performative. And now, when I look in the mirror, I see a man who didn't just walk away. I see a man who walked up. So, to the man who's ever been laughed at, underestimated, or told to leave if you can't handle it. Let them laugh. Then get up. Walk out. And build a life so good, they'll have to watch it from the outside. Because sometimes, the best payback isn't fire or fury. It's silence. Success. And never needing them again.